Hello everyone, TLSG here, back again with another daily Marvel Snap live stream. Today we are going live on Twitch instead of YouTube. We're not multicasting. We're testing the waters for a couple of things within the algorithm because it seems like the daily upload gets kind of pushed down in the ratings whenever I start going live because it wants to push the live. And so we're going to be here on Twitch today. I hope that you guys are having a fantastic day so far. And today we're going to be playing a little bit of control build for the Shuri's lab location. So I have had an incredible time. I tried a couple of different decks last night, just kind of experimenting. I did a Deadpool deck. I did a Black Panther build, and all of those can do some really big, powerful plays. But it seems like the control build aspect gives me more consistent cube gains because I'm able to swing those big games when it matters to steal 4 and 8 cubes away relatively easily. And so let's go ahead and jump straight in. I'm going to switch over into our other view. Let's reset the cube counter. That was from our extended stream the other night. We'll reset it to 1, and then we will jump on over. And so Q, thank you for being here. Thank you everyone that jumped in early or has jumped in so far. I appreciate you guys being here. So we have AVZ. You said you reactivated the Twitch account just to watch. I appreciate it. I appreciate the dedication. And then Q, we have you. You jumped in as well. And then we have Rocky Road, Kappa. Thank you guys for being here. And then AVZ, it looks like Nightbot deleted one of your messages for out of cards. So is it a deck build? I'll check it out. I can still see the message though. So we have the peak that doesn't necessarily help us too much. The Space Throne is kind of tough with this build. We like to go wide and impact several lanes. Havoc, thank you for being here. I hope you're having a great day so far. And I hope you've had a great start to your week. Mine's been a little bit rocky, but we're looking on the bright side. It could have been a lot worse. And then Rocky Road, W for lunchtime, breakfast streams for you. That's huge. You're able to wake up in the morning, and if you're a coffee drinker, maybe get some coffee. And it's a link mentioning the week's featured. Oh, gotcha. Dry, welcome. I'm glad you were able to jump in and join us. So if you're a coffee drinker, you're able to jump in, or you're able to enjoy the stream while starting your day, which is big. I'm glad that you're able to kind of slow start your day. I always end up sleeping in too late, and then I don't have time for anything. It's like a rush from the moment I wake up until I get to work and get everything kind of situated. So we can go ahead and do Killmonger, but we do have Sarah. Maximus has been switched. Mysterio has been switched. Those are going to be tough drops. Right now, it looks like a Sarah into a Captain Marvel and Killmonger may be our turn 5 and turn 6 play. But I'm not for sure. I don't think we want to drop Killmonger just yet. I think we will eventually. But I just don't know that we do it right now. I think Sarah is going to take priority. We can do Sarah. We can do Captain Marvel into the Sarah lane, or into the Angela lane. That will buff her up further. Since we didn't get Shuri's lab, this one turns into a pretty standard game. The peak is pretty tough for us here, but otherwise we may be able to still find our win condition. And I appreciate everyone that jumped over outside of the normal YouTube. These streams, I know that they're going to be a little bit smaller than what they would be on YouTube, at least for a while. But it's I'm testing the waters. If you haven't jumped in the Discord or kind of been in any of those discussions, as soon as I start a stream on YouTube, YouTube wants to promote that because that's new and fresh. That's the current content. So then it stops pushing the daily video, and then once we end the stream is lagging. Is the stream lagging for anyone else? I'm showing a decent bit range. AVZ. Not for you? No? Okay, perfect. Toya is welcome. And then Pickwick, you said hi TLSG. I just wanted to say hello. Unfortunately, I can't watch the stream right now as I'm studying at the library, but you'll surely catch up later if you're still online. Pickwick, that's huge. I hope your studies go well. I appreciate you jumping in and joining and just saying hey. And so with Dracula and Mojo, that's a pretty scary combo, depending on what they have in hand, what they discarded, which I didn't catch what they discarded. We have Captain Marvel as a way to buff up this lane. We can then drop our Killmonger, but I don't know that we win one of these other locations. I think these other locations become difficult to win. Since it's just for one additional cube, I think we throw Killmonger here, hope that the buff from Nova and Captain Marvel is able to swing it, but I don't think we're going to be able to.
Hey, welcome.
Hey, Ravage. Thank you for using your Prime subscription for... I see that you noticed that we have the sub button. And so I don't know that this is like officially where we're going to stream, but if you have the extra Prime subs laying around, I absolutely appreciate them. It's the support is very much appreciated, Ravage. Thank you so much. Hood Carnage on mid instead. So that would be a little bit more. Since Killmonger's not going to trigger anything on their end, that may be enough to swing it. I think Baxter building is our concern though, because they're going to drop a big power push there. Captain Marvel may be able to tie this location though. Or maybe it stays here if the 3 power swing from Nova is enough to swing it. Actually, yeah. Yeah, Kappa, you found us the win condition. You found us the win condition, Kappa. Thank you. So we'll start off the stream, Mr. Positive Streamer, at least until we find Q and we match up against Q. Oh yeah, Q. And so with Twitch, the thing that I like here is that some people that aren't able to support otherwise, if you're a Prime member, you get 1 free sub every month through your Twitch Prime membership, which is huge. It allows you to support some of the streamers, even if you aren't able to or don't necessarily want to pay for a subscription. And so that's another big part about Twitch. And I am working on uploading some of the custom emotes here. Right now, the only one that's been approved is the doggo. The rest are pending approval. And then Thugonomics, thank you for jumping in the chat. I hope you're having a great day so far. You wish Amazon was a bigger thing here, so you have a reason to get Prime, Kappa. That makes sense. So I think we play our Angela into Wakanda. We will probably play Bishop into this 3rd lane. That way we can do our Mysterio. That will buff up Angela and Bishop. It'll buff Bishop 3 times. We can use that middle location as a kind of Carnage feed. And then we do have Shang-Chi as a way to destroy any large cards that they end up pushing. And then Sonic Geo, hey, how's it going? I'm glad you're able to jump in and join us today. Mysterio to mid is too obvious. And I actually don't know the way that Mysterio mid functions. So it's just going to double the 0 power, right? Because it's a token. So I don't think it would even push a 10 power Mysterio token there. I haven't tried that one out though. That's just my assumption. Election over. Powerball was won. Snapping is all that's left in the world. All right, it was a big day yesterday. There was a lot of big events going on. I hope everyone that is from the United States was able to get out and go vote. I think we have Captain Marvel. She's going to be a kind of a rover. Yes, if we drop her after Mysterio, then she will take effect after the real Mysterio reveals himself. So she's going to be able to utilize that. But now that Angela's in mid, that makes it tough for our Carnage win condition. I think we still do Carnage. That's going to double this power. We have the Shang-Chi target in Polaris in mid. We can always do a Hulkbuster to merge with Carnage or kind of find one of those win conditions if we don't have Sarah following up after this. I think this is the order we're going to go with. We're just going to sacrifice our Angela, unfortunately. Thungonomics, you said I built a destroy deck, then immediately pulled Death. I took it as a sign and been running that all morning. Death is, if in a destroy deck, if you're able to consistently destroy enough cards, Death is massive, and it gets even better once you get Wave. It's just only going to get better from there. Kappa, yeah, the Angela would get pretty big, but she wouldn't duplicate herself, or it wouldn't duplicate the power, so it would just end up being like 7 or so power. And then Sonic Jill, Agatha AFK is very cool to stream and very fun to watch. Yeah, I like the Agatha. I like the Agatha build. The AFK version. So the AFK version that you're talking about, is that like the Hela style? So the one that uses like the high-end cards. You use the discard with Agatha or with Hela as a resummon at the end. Yeah. That one's not bad. I haven't ever had a whole lot of luck with that, just because there's so many variables and kind of cross like competing cards. And so with Agatha, if you draw into one of your 6-cost cards, sometimes Lady Sif isn't going to discard her. I like the control Agatha. I think that one's probably one of the more consistent ones. But I do like the AFK Agatha. That's really fun to stream. You're able to kind of focus on chat, and it's overall it's a pretty nice build. I don't have as much of a win rate with that one as some other decks, but I do think it's fun to stream it. So the second location is Kunlun. We have Killmonger that will be able to buff up our 3 Mysterio tokens. I think we throw it down. I think we keep up with tempo. We don't hold out for Shuri's Lab since it's only a 40% occurrence. I think we go ahead and just kind of play tempo into that third location. And so they have a multiple man. If they have a movement deck, moving him over into Kunlun is going to be could be pretty big. But I think we throw our multiple man down as a way to, because we're not going to have movement components. I think we throw it down as a way for maybe Carnage fodder. That will make our Carnage a little bit bigger and consolidate the spaces. And then we'll be able to make sure that we have Captain Marvel, that she has room to kind of range and rove. We have Shang-Chi that we're going to be able to drop on the final turn. If we draw into Sarah, we're going to be able to do a massive final turn play. Yeah, Hulkbuster merges and then doubles. And so Hulkbuster is huge. In any kind of deck, if you have multiple man, if you're running a movement deck and you do multiple man and then Hulkbuster, it's something like it's like a mid 15 to 20 power depending on how you set it up. Multiple man that's now moving across the board. So it gets really big really fast. Rocky Road. And so that's one of I actually teched it into this deck just as a way to help push some more consistent power, because if you do Captain Marvel plus Hulkbuster, it's like a 32 power card that will shift locations to find the win condition, and so it gets really fun really fast. So I'm hoping that they move some of their cards over into Kunlun. I'm hoping that they get Kraven and multiple man up to a point where we have that Shang-Chi target. We have Sarah that's going to discount our cards one further, so we're going to be able to do a really big turn 5 and turn 6 play. So we'll be able to look at maybe, and this may be a bot, we'll be able to look at where their power push is to try and find the consistent place to play ours. I think we can do Angela and Captain Marvel here. I think we hold Killmonger until the very last turn. That way we can get as much of an impact. Jay Pauly, thank you for the follow. We can get as much impact out of destroying our Nova as possible. We have Nightcrawler that's going to take out some of their power. And then I think we'll be able to use Shang-Chi to destroy either the Vulture here or maybe a big multiple man in Kunlun. And then Wolf Loki, what's up? How's it going? I'm glad you were able to jump in and join us for our lunch live stream today. I know that it's not our normal live stream location, but I appreciate you being here. I hope you're having a great day so far. And so it does look like it's a bot. They did drop Heimdall a turn early because of the Elysium reduction. So Daily Bugle, that one is, I think, a lost cause. We can, I think, pretty easily, they have initiative, so if they move their cards over, so maybe like a Doctor Strange would pull their multiple man. But we have the real Mysterio here. I think our secondary win condition may be something like a Bishop, a Shang-Chi, and then a Killmonger. That will buff up. It'll give us +8 power in these lanes. Bishop is going to buff this up further. I think we're fine with their big power push out of the way, and with us being pretty sure that this is a bot. I think it should be easy cubes. Oh yeah, we could Killmonger first because they have Nova, right? And then AX, how's it going? I'm glad you're able to jump in and join us today. I hope your day is going well so far. And then Mister, you said I just reached pool 3. And I got and I got Mr. Negative after after another 2 cards for any pull 3 deck ideas. What were the other cards that you pulled, Mister? So Mr. Negative is good. He's not quite as good until you have some of the more like powerful cards to build around. So like an Arnim Zola, something that really impacts and is affected by that inversion. And so what were the other ones that you pulled? Yeah, Q. I guess you're right. We could have popped the Nova and then Killmongered left. That would have destroyed this lane. That probably would have been the better play. Ooh, Mojo. Magneto's pretty big, especially with Wong builds going around. Magneto's pretty strong. I did a build on the YouTube account. It should be under the free to play playlist, but I did a build with just Magneto and then 2 other cost cards, or not other cost cards, filled with pool 1 and pool 2 cards. And so you may check that one out. It worked out pretty decently. It's just a pretty powerful stat stick, and you can maneuver their cards around. But I think it helps enable some of the more consistent play lines. And so I did do one of those builds. Doing Mr. Negative right out of the gate is tough, just because you don't have as much that's impacted by. You used it on Amaranth? That's understandable, Dad.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
And it looks like I thought you used it on Amaranth, okay? Or I thought you used it on Amaranth, Dad. Oh, stupid Twitch ads. Yeah, I can't, unless I run mid-roll ads, it doesn't let me disable them. You lied. Oh, man. It's classic Dad. Yeah, the only issue with accepting the affiliate, I thought it'd be nice to be able to have that support from the Twitch Primes, but the only issue is that it doesn't let me turn off pre-roll, and so then they're pretty lengthy unless I run mid-roll ads, and I have to. Classic me. You're not an annoying troll. You're always keeping it entertaining. Unless I run mid-roll ads, then it won't let me disable the pre-rolls. And so I think for a lunch live stream, I haven't figured out the best way to do that. I would like to be able to disable them at some point somehow. But the Twitch Prime is, hey Toyas, thank you so much for the support. It's so greatly appreciated. I don't know if you guys are in the Discord. It was a rough start to the morning. Let's go ahead and throw Maximus into nowhere. That's going to make sure that they don't draw additional cards. It would be nice to do it into Sinister London, but I think we hold off. I think we do the double Sarah. That's going to allow us to do maybe a double Captain Marvel and a few other cards. And then Jake, hey TLSG, didn't know you was on Twitch too. Yeah, so it's something I'm testing out. I'm trying out. And then thank you guys for the follows, the Thugonomics and Badha. Thank you both for the follows. I'm testing it out because right now, whenever I push a live stream onto, the armors. Whenever I push a live stream onto YouTube, it pushes that live stream over the structured content, and so then the structured video for that day kind of falls off. And so I'm testing streaming out here for a little bit. I don't know if this is where we switch. If so, anybody that supported me on YouTube with memberships, I'm gonna make sure we're gonna do like a big gift session, and we're gonna gift everybody. And then Badha, thank you so much for using the Prime sub on us as well. You guys are, the support is massive. Thank you guys so much. So they have the armor and the Cosmo now. So on reveals are not going to trigger anywhere. So at that point, I think we just start curving our cards onto the board. So we can do Killmonger. That's not going to trigger, unfortunately, but it doesn't trigger anywhere. Next turn, we're going to be able to do a double Sarah.
Hey, welcome.
And Sandman, thank you so much for the support with your Prime as well. You guys are massive. And then for this one, yeah, the best course for this one may be to retreat, but I'm gonna let it play out. We may be able to. Oh my gosh, what is this? They use Green Goblin, but they've dropped their armor and Cosmos, so it's not able to go. So I think we actually might be in a good spot. And then you said pre-rolls are the worst for sure. Most people, you included, often switch to other channels when they're hit with a pre-roll. Yeah, and you may not know. Is there a good way to disable them? I know if I run It's like 30 seconds of, or maybe it's a minute of ads midstream. It disables it disables them for like 30 minutes from anybody that jumps in afterwards. And I would like to do that, especially if it's a longer stream. But I'm not as familiar with the way that the Twitch ads work. Usually I just don't run them on YouTube because I agree, they can be frustrating. Anyone agree with the retreat suggestion? I did all the way up until the Green Goblin got stuck. Toyas, no, I don't want your gift, so I just subscribed myself here. I appreciate it, Toyas. The support is massive. I did until they accidentally capped out the Sinister London location. Now I think we have a strategic spot. They can play one card here, but as long as we have the double Captain Marvel that's going to come down. And as long as she can roam here, we're absolutely fine. Teletubby, Decode, Dark Knight, and Mid. Thank you guys all so much for the follows. I appreciate the support and you jumping over. If you typically watch us on the YouTube stream, I appreciate you jumping over to enjoy the lunch live stream over here. App Ravage, yeah, the Green Goblin misplay is easy to do. Even though they've made Cosmo where he has the graphic that kind of draws your attention. What is MTG bot? So it should, I don't know if I've set it up completely, but it should be able to, like if you do, I think, I don't know. So it's supposed to be able to do a command. That way you can look up the different cards. There we go, the keyer, the keyer. You know how to use the MTG bot. So you're able to do hash or exclamation card and then whatever the card name, and so then you're able to look up those cards. And so it was something that was requested whenever. Ooh, so they haven't added Black Panther yet. It was something that was requested, and I think adds a little bit of. For any newcomers, I think it's kind of helpful. And then the fuel, thank you so much for the follow. Stars and moons, thank you for the follow as well. Can't hide from me. You found us. We switched over from YouTube into Twitch for today. I appreciate you finding us. You taking the time to jump over and enjoy the live stream, Stars and Moon. And then Mid, you said normally don't catch your streams, but love your videos, man. GG. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of the support. Has been incredibly welcome. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the videos, the streams, and just the content. As a content creator, that's really all that I could ask for. Is that you guys are enjoying what I'm putting out. We're gonna go ahead and play Mysterio. I think on curve, since we don't have Angela or Bishop to get the upside from him. So we're just gonna kind of control. We're just gonna continue to kind of play to tempo and push cards out. Then okay, Dad, you said hashtag Discord. Did it go off? It should work. Are the commands not working from Nightbot? There it goes. I didn't see it pop up from when you did it. When you did it, Dad. I learned that multiple Captain Marvels are pretty dumb. Yeah, the way that they interact with each other, it kind of breaks their logic a little bit. And so yeah, they're not the brightest. So we have our Carnage that we can throw here. I think we may go ahead and just tempo drop our Demon as well, because next on turn 5 we're gonna have to play cards into Avengers Compound. We lose a little bit of flexibility, and I don't know if we need to drop Killmonger here just because we don't know what they're running yet. But we'll be able to see. So the tempo Ironheart tells me maybe they have a Wong that's going to drop here, and then they can do something else, eventually re-trigger it with Odin, which will trigger the Ironheart several times. And so we'll need to kind of watch out for that interaction, because that allows them to push a lot of cards and a lot of power quickly. But if that's what they're going with, we're going to have Mindscape that takes away their potential Odin play. Oh, you were replying to a message, that's why I didn't show. Gotcha. And so with the read into the Mindscape, they were relying on a turn 6 drop, or a turn 6 play. That's why I went ahead and ended up kind of tempo snapping. And since they didn't have a way to change it, I'm assuming that's why they ended up retreating. Turn 5 Maximus is a good one, Scorpion, or Scorpio Online. Being able to do that, force them to draw into additional resources, and then we switch and we retain those instead, is always so much fun to see. And then Sandman, I've been watching your videos on YouTube. It's all really well explained. Thank you so much, Sandman. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you being here and checking out the live stream. You're from Brazil, by the way. I always find it so interesting to see how much of a widespread impact the game has and our content has, because it's always so interesting to see just the reach and just the different people that I get to interact with that I wouldn't have ever ran into or found. And so I appreciate you letting me know that you're watching all the way from Brazil. What time is it for you over there? Because it's midday for me here, and a lot of people, a lot of places in the world, it's pretty late. I know that some of our regulars, it's around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And so the dedication for some of them. Some people it hits. Brazil is like PST time. And then AVZ, I assume you don't really know much Marvel lore. So I don't know much from the comics. I do have the comic service so that I can kind of brush up. So I can kind of brush up and learn a little bit more. I've consumed a lot of the Marvel cinematic movies and shows, but as far as anything that hasn't been like mainstream covered, you're right. I don't have a whole lot of working knowledge of it just yet, but it is getting bigger. I have the comic book service now, and so I can catch up on some of those older ones. And then Rai Guy, the hype man himself, thank you for jumping in and joining us. 10 p.m. in India. Sonic Geo, thank you for joining us all the way from India. And it's a nice, so it's a lunchtime my time, but it's a nice way to kind of wind down your day, to be able to kind of wind down from everything throughout the day. So that timing works out perfect. There's a Marvel comic book service. Yeah, I don't remember the name. Let me find it for you. And so it's a subscription where you get access. So it's Marvel Unlimited, and so you get access to all of their comics. It's like a monthly subscription. That way you don't have to buy the individual issues. And so that's what I'm using to try and catch up on some of the stuff that I missed previously. We're gonna go ahead and tempo drop our Maximus onto the board. I think with our Shang-Chi, with our Sarah, we'll be able to counter maybe whatever they end up putting out. So if they end up drawing into something big, we'll be able to counter it with our Shang-Chi, at least hopefully. Rai Guy, how's the day been for you? It was a rocky start, Rai Guy. So if you aren't in the Discord or haven't caught up, so my wife's car got broken into this morning, and my daughter was up pretty much all night with a slight fever, just general discomfort. And so it was an eventful morning. Luckily, everybody is safe and sound, and looking at the bright side, it could have been much worse. And so, yeah, it was a rocky start, but so far it's kind of picked up from there. Everything is falling into place how it needs to. Corin, my Scarlet Witch just changed to a new location. It says, yeah, so I think it's the mines. Is that one? Is that one? What that one's called? Corin, so I had a game earlier. I was playing on my phone, not recording for content, just kind of recording, or just kind of playing, and I ran into that situation or that location. That's going to be pretty cool to see if it's ever featured, to use like Deadpool decks. Because then if that is the lowest power card, it gets destroyed, it returns to your hand. It's a free destruction. And then you have to kind of strategically use. So like on the last turn, I used my Mysterio token so that one of my actual cards didn't end up getting destroyed. So that the new location is, I think it's going to be pretty cool if it's ever featured. But it may end up being like Luke's Bar, where it doesn't ever fully get featured. So we can do a 1-cost Angela. We can buff that up a little bit with Captain Marvel. And we can drop... Oh, we don't have Killmonger, do we? We can drop Carnage as a way to destroy this lane. But maybe we just go Demon instead. If we can win both of these lanes, then I think that might be enough to push our power. But we may want to... we kind of want Captain Marvel to have the flexibility to move into different locations. So I'm going to play Demon into Baxter Building in mid. The two Baxter Buildings is kind of interesting because it's Warship. That's what it is. Because they feed off of each other. And so it could be a 6-power swing if you win both of these. And so yeah, it gets really, really interesting really quickly. It was shadow added, so it's not a bug. Yes, yeah. So it was. So Luke's bar did the same thing. They never featured that one. They never said that it was released. It was just something that came out, and our Captain Marvel was able to save this game for us. It moved from Baxter Building over into Machine World, so we were able to lock down the win. Even though they had the big Iron Man to lock down the far right Baxter Building, we were still able to find our win condition. And so far I've been having really good luck with this control build because a lot of people are running really greedy decks where they're pushing a lot of power. They're trying to push a lot of power. And so with this build, we're able to kind of counter a lot of what they're doing. And it's not controlling where they can play. So a lot of times you get those last turn 4 and 8 cube victories. And so I didn't play it a whole lot last night. I messed around more with like a Deadpool Death Wave deck, but this one I think has a lot of promise. I think this is probably my favorite deck for the location, and outside of just trying to make absurdly large cards. So I think we're going to early drop our Carnage to clean up the Savage Land. If we draw into Nova, we do have Killmonger as a secondary trigger. We have Hulkbuster if we draw into the featured location, which we haven't seen it much today. I think it's only come up once so far. You need a replacement for Maximus in this deck. Yeah, Groot could be, but you have to read the other guy. Oh, for Groot, yeah, or I think another like high power 3-drop. If you're finding that locations are being capped out, maybe you could do a Mojo, but I think that one's going to be less consistent overall. I think we're going to just tempo drop our Hulkbuster into... Actually, this is one of those occasions we're not going to merge with anything. We're just going to play it into the sewer system. But yeah, any kind of 3-cost card. The idea is so that if you have Sarah, you can drop that plus your Captain Marvel or that plus another 5-cost card. And so any 3-cost or 2-cost that has a high power ratio, I think would be a good replacement, Dad. Scorpion Online. It does look like we're getting more cubes from the Twitch streams. It's just they know. They know. Maybe we're getting less people that are actively trying to match up against us and just running outright insane decks. So from the location, they got Sunspot, we got Captain America. They did drop a Wong. So we need to kind of look out for some potential big ongoing plays. We do have Shang-Chi as a way to counteract it. I think this turn we're just going to drop our Mysterio. And we can put our real Mysterio wherever we think we're going to need it. I'm going to put ours into X Mansion. It's going to put the tokens across the board. And then we can kind of move from there. And then AZV... I may have missed the question because I know that Q responded to you. Oh, TLSG, you get why Wolverine reappears in a random location when destroyed. Yeah, because he has the regenerative capabilities, right? And so, like, if he gets harmed, he regenerates, and so he's gonna pop up somewhere else. Is that it, or is it something with the Wolverine power at its kind of core? Does it like move from person to person? I haven't. X-Men is one of the ones that I'm less familiar with. So the Wolverine, that one I don't know as well. Lore reasons. Yeah, I figured they try to do a good job, and for a lot of them, I really like the way that they implemented. So like Mysterio, I think that's really clever. I think it's a really clever design. So where it kind of has that tricky element. So you don't, because Mysterio is all about like clones and the visions, and so I think it's plays to his flavor. We're gonna go ahead and drop Sarah onto the board. They have a double Wong, which is kind of scary depending on what deck they're running. I think we're gonna drop Sarah anyways. That'll allow us to do maybe a Captain Marvel and a Killmonger. We can do a Shang-Chi. It just depends. Vision is one of the funnier plays on Shuri's lab. Yeah, I like Vision. It's very similar to the way that the reason I like Captain Marvel there, because then it can move and impact another lane besides Shuri's lab, and so I do like that location for it. We may have slow played him. I'll focus on playing a little bit more. Shuri's lab with multiple man plus Hulkbuster is fun. Yeah, it ends up being 20 plus power. That's one that I haven't tried as much, but it is a combination that whenever I see it, it's incredibly fun to see. Especially if you have a couple of move components in like a cloak or a Doctor Strange or a Heimdall, you can push an insane amount of power onto the board. And sometimes whenever we run into those really high rolls with this deck, we can impact one lane. If the power is spread across all of the lanes, at that point we don't have much ability to win, and so we just retreat at that point for a low cube gain. But it is really interesting to see kind of the unique play lines. So similar to like Bar Sinister, where it created all of these really crazy plays and play potential. But now we're seeing that with Shuri's lab. I think the new location, the mines or Warpath or whatever got added where the cards fight, that one's going to be really interesting if it's ever featured in kind of what decks are built around that kind of specific fighting mechanic. Dante was not here, so glad I caught the stream. I guess lunch is starting early for you today. I'm so glad that you're here, Dante. I appreciate everybody that has jumped over that has jumped over from our normal YouTube stream over here. It's something that we're testing out for right now. So the support has been massive. And then Vassal, do you see yourself hitting infinite within the year or within the season? I think is probably what you mean. I've hit infinite every season. So I definitely do. I think that we will. The only thing that I've actually hit infinite on a couple of accounts on a couple of seasons. I have a snap problem. So yeah, I think we will, and we're on our way. We're almost 80 already. And so we haven't been really like pushing to grind. We've just been playing whenever we play different decks in different streams. And so I think we get it without, most of the time I'm able to get it without really having to grind it out. And so overall, yeah, I think we'll be able to hit it. And then Kappa, yeah. So with Fisk Tower, I want to avoid playing anything into Strange Academy until after turn 5, because it could accidentally move it over into Fisk Tower and end up destroying it. So I think we play our Angela. Next turn we'll be able to do Sarah, probably just into Fisk Tower. That's going to allow us to do a last turn Captain Marvel and Killmonger. I don't know that we end up having the space to drop our demon, but I think it's okay. With us having Killmonger, their Sunspot's going to end up dying. I laugh so hard if she flies over there, if Captain Marvel. I think she's coded where she won't. I think it's coded where she won't. If it's going to kill her, she won't move over there. Yeah, it'd be shocking to see for sure. And then Mystic for hire. You've hit every season since launch. Yeah, I mean you have a perfect record so far, Mystic for hire. So I think instead of the Sarah on this game, actually, I think we go with a Mysterio into Fisk Tower, and then we go ahead and drop our Killmonger as well. That's going to create a couple of tokens here. We still have the free spot into Shuri's lab to drop our Captain Marvel. It's going to free up a space here, and then we can do both Captain Marvel and Demon on that final turn. Smart card coding, killing the fun. They've allowed a lot of fun into the game recently, with the insane like power potential of Black Panther, of Bar Sinister. I think they've done quite a bit of fun recently. Ooh, actually, Strange Academy. I hope that Mysterio token goes into Fisk Tower and destroys it. Okay, good. If it had went here, that hurts us. It hurts our power potential. So we're gonna go Captain Marvel into Shuri's lab. I think we might be able to outpower them here, but I'm thinking our win conditions are probably Shuri's lab and the Strange Academy, because Captain Marvel's not going to be able to move over here with her 12 power. And so we're going to only have, I mean, right now we would have 15. And so if they don't invest anything in Fisk Tower, actually, we might be able to sneak it that way. We're going to see if we can get it. We're going to see if we can just get a sneaky Fisk Tower win. And then Hext, if you play on Google Play, does your collection transfer to Steam somehow? So it does transfer. So right now it is linked to your Google Play account. And so if you link your Google account when you log in on Steam, it'll have you log in that same way. And so everything carries over. So I bounce between my phone and in the Steam client quite a bit. And so we were able to win Fisk Tower, and their big Infinite in Shuri's lab was able to win that one. But since we were able to maneuver the Captain Marvel, the 12 power mobile Captain Marvel into Strange Academy, we were able to take in those cubes nonetheless. And so Mystic Friar, if she sees a Kraven, could she also hypothetically see a card that gains power from destruction with Fisk Tower? I think she should, because I know that she is coded to look at if Kraven is going to buff up. She considers that in the calculations before she moves. But I don't know about Fisk Tower. And so, like, if we had one that would benefit from her moving over there, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to see. Captain Marvel is smart. 2 Captain Marvels is where it gets kind of dumb. At that point, they're competing with each other, and sometimes it doesn't work well. And it can be kind of tricky to use Captain Marvel so it relies on your play order whenever you're using in both a Mysterio and a Captain Marvel. Because if you drop Captain Marvel first and then Mysterio, Captain Marvel tries to resolve before the real Mysterio token shows his power. And so then you can end up losing games that you had a win condition, but just because of the play order, it messes it up. And so I've definitely whiffed a few games as a result. Yeah, 1 Marvel is good. 2 Marvel, it's a little bit scary. So we can do Bishop into the Angela lane, or we can do it into Kamar Taj. We don't have a lot of great on reveal cards. I guess we have the Hood. So if we draw into the Hood, we can get 2 demon tokens. Other than that, it doesn't benefit us too much. So I think we're just going to play into the Avengers compound for now. Mystic Friar, you said they've never gone into this in detail, but it would be good for you to have a tutorial video of order of operations. Seen a lot of confusion about plays, so like why Kraven gains power from a Nightcrawler before he flips, but that's turn order, but also the hierarchy of on reveal. Yeah, and so I think at the core or the premise, the idea of the play order is I think it's pretty simple, but I think where we start running into confusion is how whenever it's interacting with particular cards or card buffs or locations at the same time, at that point it starts getting a little bit convoluted and confusing.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Kabangers, thank you so much for subscribing with your Prime membership. I appreciate the support. It is so very welcomed. I appreciate it. And I hope that you're enjoying the content, and I'm glad to have you here. People crying over Devil Dino and Shuri's lab. Oh, gotcha. And so since it would double the 3 power instead of his on reveal, that makes sense. And I made a similar mistake. I thought the Sinister Clone token would double the power of the original token before the clone came out and would retain that double, but it doesn't. It doesn't quite work that way. And so I understand. I understand that where it can start getting confusing, because I could see where that would come from. So I think we drop our Killmonger here. They have a pretty big Kamar Taj lane. Oh, we have to play into the compound this turn. So in that case, I think we do Sarah. That allows us to do a last turn. Killmonger to destroy their Sunspot, their Nova. These 2 lanes may be our win condition. Unless we draw into Shang-Chi, then we can, I think, easily swing the Kamar Taj location. Kabanger's been watching since YouTube. Glad you're on Twitch so you can use your free Prime sub. That's one of the reasons I'm excited about potentially switching full-time over to Twitch, is because it's a lot easier for a lot more people to support, because if you have Amazon Prime, you can pretty easily throw in that support with a free Prime sub. And I know that it's not within a lot of people, or some people don't have the means to support outside of that. And I completely understand that. So it's another piece of why I'm excited to be streaming on Twitch right now. And then Mystic, maybe even go into end of game operations. you come from Magic the Gathering, where the rule book is like a legal document. Oh, and so I that's probably a pretty hard shift, because this one, it's a lot of like either playing it out, feeling it out, just getting, I don't know, just kind of reading or interpreting what the text says and what it should mean. And so I could see where that could be kind of difficult to navigate. Mystic for Hire. So they're Dracula and Captain Marvel, I think, compete with each other. Captain Marvel is going to move before Dracula, and so then it could end up hurting them. We don't have any end of game operations, but I think we're going to destroy their Sunspot. I think we invest here and here. I think these are our 2 win lanes. So let's go ahead and lock this one in. Sonic Jail. I had the same thought when you played Sinister Clone in Shuri's Lab. Yeah, and it was a brewing thing. I in my head, that's the way that it should work. Sometimes those interactions don't work as you would intend. So similar to the new location where your cards fight, and the weakest one is destroyed, that could cause some confusion. Oh, the Magneto, does that win us the game? No, not quite. It depends on what Dracula pulls into a huge... No, we still win. Dracula pulls into a huge Giganto to give them the 14 power in mid, but we win that one by 10. We lose Kamartaj by only 3 with the Magneto pulling our bishop over there. Luckily, nobody had any power in Hala, and so we were able to gain another 4 cubes. This has been an insane streak. I think that pushed us from like 76 up to 80 in less than an hour. We've absolutely been crushing and moving forward. Ooh, actually, I have a season pass variant that I can pull real quick. Congratulations with 80. We get a Pixel Wasp. At least it gets it out of the store. It's no longer a potential variant that pops up in the store. I kind of like the Captain Marvel one, but everything else, I don't know that the Cable one's pretty good. The Deadpool one is decent. I like one of the other Deadpool ones a little bit better, but so far the store wasn't bad today. A lot of times I get a lot of pixels, so at least I get that one out of the pool, and we don't have to worry about it. But Q, thanks for the congrats on 80. It happened really fast. Like, we haven't been pushing outside of like streams or like recording videos, and so being able to climb to 80 already is, I think, pretty big. Mystic Friar, someone black bolted me in Bar Sinister whilst I skipped a turn with Infinite in hand. Did they mill through your entire hand, Mystic? Oh, and you said, did you do it on purpose, like not upgrading your cards? Yeah, so right now I'm trying to push everything to that legendary border, just because I think whenever they all have that same cohesive look, I find it satisfying. And so right now I haven't been splitting my cards. I've just been upgrading them to the legendary and then leaving them. So yeah, it's something that I'm doing on purpose. For $5,000, you can really reduce the store inventory. Yeah, you sure can. You can buy out the variants that pop up each day, and you can try your luck there. So we're gonna do Mysterio. We're gonna do the token over in the raft. We're gonna drop a Nova there as well. Next turn, depending on what we draw into, we may drop a card and then Carnage to get the upside from the raft location. You had 4 cards in hand. Oh, and so then it discarded all of them. Mystic Friar, I never thought about doing Bar Sinister with a Black Bolt, but I think that's a pretty sneaky play if you can have their hand size low enough. I think that's pretty impressive. So let's go with a Hood and a Carnage. That's going to give us the free 6-cost card from the raft, and it's going to clear up the location, so we can still play wherever we need to. $5,000 for a game. Whale detected. I think Marvel Snap has done a really good job of protecting the experience for everyone. Like, even if you want to whale out completely, just and buy as much as you can, there's a limit to how fast you can progress your collection and things like that. And so I think they've done a really good job in that regard of making it feel pretty flexible. And so since we capped out the raft early, sometimes if you cap it out on 5, you get the Infinite and you're not able to use it. But luckily And luckily we are. We're going to skip this turn so that we can drop Infinite next turn for free. And we'll have a pretty massive turn 6 play. And then Kabangers. I don't have Maximus for this deck. What's a good alternative? I'd say another like tempo 3 drop. So the idea with Maximus is that if you have Sarah on the board, you can drop both Captain Marvel and Maximus for like a really big power push in Shuri's lab. So you may end up doing something like Groot, but that's a little bit tougher to trigger, but it'd still be about the same. And then AVZ, yeah, skip so you play Infinite. Yeah, and so we can do... I'm wondering if they do Odin here to push 4 more White Tigers onto the board. Because if so, Odin will re-trigger Wolfsbane twice. And so it's going to be 12 power. It's going to be 21 power here. Do we have the reach? I don't know if we have that win condition. So Infinite here would definitely push us there. I'm wondering if we can find a way to win it without it. So it's actually going to be 19 power, so a total of 20. And right now we have 7. This would be 14. This would be 21. I think that should give us the win condition here. Infinite here would give us the win in the raft, even if all of their tokens go over there. If my math is right. Yeah, so the 28 power on the raft protects from even if all 4 Tiger tokens go there. It's just a matter of if we outpower their Wolfsbane. And so once the Mysterio token reveals, I think we should have the advantage over them. Oh no. So it's I miscalculated the Wolfsbane because it triggers twice. Unfortunately, they're gonna have that win condition. We're not gonna be able to compete. Yeah, Wolfsbane's gonna get big. I was thinking of just 2 triggers instead of 4. The 4 is where we ended up getting outpowered. If we had Shang-Chi, that would have been a decent... No, we would have had Shang-Chi. We had initiative. So they just had us. They had us completely countered there. I can't remember who said it, but they described Snap as pay to lose. Calculated that with only paying for each season pass, I should have the full collection the soonest 2 weeks, and within worst a month, December, when they launch collector's tokens. Yeah, so I think there was a lot of concern about it being kind of pay to play and requiring a lot of money investment. I think they've done a really good job of reinvesting and refocusing their attention into getting people to buy like variants and like cool cosmetic things, rather than feeling like they are forced into purchasing, the Nexus events that we had for a while. And so I agree. I think that with the season pass, if you're gonna spend the smallest amount of money to get the most upside, the season pass would be absolutely where I would push it. You miscalculated it too. It happens. I forgot about the Wong interaction there. So we can do Nova. The Nexus is going to be pretty big. We have a counter with our Shang-Chi. I wonder if we even worry about getting any Hulks here. Because if we can win the Nexus by enough, then we just win Gamma Lab as well. I'm going to go ahead and do it into the Gamma Lab just so that we have another one. And then Dante was not here. Thank you so much for the Prime subscription as well. I appreciate the support, and welcome to the team. I'm working on getting a few more of the emotes from YouTube accepted or approved over here. Right now, all we have is the Doggo one that's been approved. The rest are pending verification, but those should be here with time. So I wonder if we have Sarah, so we're going to be able to do a couple of things on the final turn. And then Friars the Hobbit, thank you so much for following us on Twitch. So we're going to be able to do Sarah on 5. That'll allow us to do a Captain Marvel and a Maximus on 6 to give us a pretty big power push in the Nexus. I don't know that we hold our Shang-Chi. because it comes down to if we have more cards here, then I guess it won't matter if we lost the Nexus or not. Wodar, good morning. I'm glad that you are able to jump in and join us today. I appreciate you being here. Oh, so yep, I guess that was their win condition. So with us taking out the Hulks, they did go ahead and retreat for the 1 cube. They gave us the fist bump on the way out. Dante figured it out with linking accounts. That's huge. I'm so glad that you were able to link your account on Amazon, and that you chose to use your free sub on us instead of Amaranth like Dad did. So not 2 weeks in total, 2 weeks from today. You bought the boosted season pass. Oh yeah, and the boosted season pass, it's nice because it gets you all the way to the end, but it's definitely not necessary. Then hey, Friars the Hobbit, thank you for the Prime subscription as well. The support is absolutely huge. I appreciate it. Ooh, so unfortunately our Hulkbuster gets destroyed. That is one of our like really big power play cards. But I think we're all right. Pushed into pool 3 yesterday, and Wong was one of the first cards that I got. Delinquent. I'm jealous. 2, I did a free-to-play build using just Wong and then filled with pool 1 and pool 2 cards on the YouTube account. If you need ideas, it's basically an Odin on reveal, but it works really well. I know a few people were able to climb to infinite with it. So if you're looking for kind of inspiration, definitely check that out. Shang-Chi is a pool 2 card. And then Vassal, man, Shang-Chi is so cracked. I really wish I could get him one of these days. I'm sure that you'll pull him soon, Vassal. But yeah, especially with like Shuri's lab and locations that are just doing some of these kind of insane combos, he's massive. So let's go ahead and play our Bishop. I think next turn we may play the Hood and Killmonger, both into the Angela lane to buff her up further. We have Captain Marvel that's going to be a 12 power kind of roving unit. So I think we're set up pretty well. Friars the Hobbit, thanks for the awesome content. I hadn't realized you switched over to Twitch for streaming instead of YouTube. So it's still something that we're testing out. So I was having some issues with, and I don't know that they're necessarily issues.
Hey, welcome.
And then Wodar, thank you for the Prime sub as well. The support is massive. I appreciate you guys. And so with YouTube, whenever I started going live, it would push and recommend the live stream over the structured video. And so the structured video would start dying out. And then even after we ended the live stream, those numbers never bounced back. And so I'm testing out over here on Twitch. I think the streams will be a little bit smaller than what they were on YouTube, just because we had more of a reach. But I think in terms of just being able to make sure that our YouTube content reaches as wide of an audience as we can, so we can grow our little community even bigger. I think Twitch may be our answer. If we fully switch over here, then I plan to anybody that supported us on YouTube with a paid membership. I'm just gonna bite the bullet. We're gonna have a gifting spree, and I'm just gonna gift subs to all of those people. And so that's something that we're kind of looking at and kind of feeling out for right now. So we can do Killmonger here. That clears up a space. I think maybe we can do a Nova. We can actually go ahead and drop our Demon here, since it won't be able to be destroyed. That way he gets the Nova bonus. We can do our Killmonger that clears us up one space. And then we can drop our Captain Marvel on turn 6 as that kind of capstone in trying to find one of those other win conditions. The Discord command is so satisfying. Yeah, I tried to get the commands where they're a little bit shorter, because before I was using commands that were just incredibly long, and so I'm glad that it's satisfying. You would argue that Shang-Chi is a must in pool 2 or 3 right now. I think so. I think so too, Dante. With how big these locations are and how much of an impact they have, I think it's absolutely necessary. What happens if you play one of the goblins into Shuri's lab? I didn't think about that, AVZ, but it should double down on that negative. So if it's a hobgoblin, it should be -16. That goes over to the opponent's side. That's kind of sneaky. I kind of like that. Maybe we fit a green goblin into one of our decks and we test it out. Twitch is better. I never saw you on YouTube live. That is Decker. Yeah, I think the integration that I think the integration that Twitch has, it's easier to find live content while it's live on Twitch versus what we had on versus on YouTube. And so yeah, I think it will be a good change. I think it's going to be the streams are going to be a little bit smaller than what they were before, at least for a little while. But I think overall it's probably going to be the best move. But I want to look at the numbers and make sure that it's the right thing. And then we'll go on a gifting spree. We'll set up a long stream so that we can just gift everybody that had the support on YouTube, and then push it over. And then Sonic Jill, you said you don't want me to leave YouTube. So I'll still be doing the daily videos. The daily videos aren't going anywhere. The issue is that I was doing too much on YouTube, and so then YouTube didn't know what to recommend to wear. And so I want to make sure that we kind of push the content that can to kind of help grow our community, because not everyone watches the live streams on YouTube. And so if those are getting pushed to people that don't necessarily care for live content, we could end up having like subscriber burnout, and that's another thing that I'm kind of keeping an eye on and monitoring. The Kier, you said one thing I've seen people do is people coming from YouTube, they release short YouTube video releasing when they start streaming information about it, and later deleting it, not to spam people. Maybe it could help. So the Kier, I don't think my version is as helpful, but I've done a community post on YouTube that says, hey, we're going live on Twitch. It gives the link, and then after I get done streaming, I delete it. That way I get a little bit of that crossover, the Kier. That I think it's the same kind of premise or thought. And then the Living Stereo, you said Maximus required for this build. I wouldn't say absolutely required. It's very, very helpful to be able to do the Maximus along with like a Captain Marvel in the final turn. And so I think it's very helpful, but you could sub it out for something like a Groot, and I think you'd be just fine. And so with Limbo and Elysium, we're going to have to watch out. I think we just slow play our cards, because we could really start flooding the board. But a lot of times you start losing gas with Elysium, because you can just play your cards so much easier that by the final turn you just don't really have anything left to play. And so I think we keep an eye on that. We don't necessarily force our cards out too early. So I think we're gonna do Mysterio into Limbo. That'll push the token here, and it'll push a token, one of the tokens here. It'll start buffing up our Bishop. And then I think we're actually okay to skip. I want to drop Hulkbuster, but I think we slow play it. I think we wait it out. My Limbo, oh yeah, the Limbo looks different than it normally does. That's definitely not the Limbo that it used to be. Oh, is it missing assets, or did they change it and not tell anybody? Sonic Jill, live streams are okay here. Yeah, and that's all that I would be shifting over, Sonic. Everything else, like our structured videos, our daily uploads, those would still be on YouTube. Thor should be the best 3-cost substitute for Maximus. He wouldn't get as much immediate use out of Shuri's lab, though, would be my concern. And then it does make it less likely to draw into like your Shang-Chi plays. Missing the yellow background, I think it looks pretty sleek. It may be missing assets, but I think it looks pretty cool. You're running magic. Oh, you're running magic, so my Limbo is just broken. Well, okay, that could be it as well. So we have. I think maybe we do Carnage and then Sarah. We still have 2 turns. We're gonna have an even further reduction in our card cost with Sarah, and so we're gonna still slow play it. We're gonna try to find a good Shang-Chi target. We're gonna wait to find a good place to do our Hulkbuster, and then Hexed, Living Stereo, and Zardos. Thank you so much for the follows. I appreciate it. I'm glad to have you guys here. And so if this buffs up too far, then we're gonna have a decent Shang-Chi target. We have our Maximus that we're able to drop for one energy next turn for a massive 7 power. I think we do the Hulkbuster now. That will buff up Angela even further. And then I think we wait. What's the highest cost that we can get? The next highest cost card that we could draw into would be Captain Marvel, and she's going to be a base of 5. She goes down to 4 with the Elysium. She goes down to 3 with the Elysium and Sarah. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No matter what card we draw, we'll be able to play all of our cards in hand next turn. And so I think with that, we wait. That way we can more strategically position that power. You're going to try Groot, maybe even Thor. Yeah, I think test them out. Maximus is definitely the most versatile for that final turn drop, but I think either one of those would be a decent replacement. Yesterday, you were able to finish the collection at collection level 3010, which is awesome. Yeah, they have done a lot of really good things of reducing like the time or the collection log level needed to complete that. Because I didn't complete mine until 3800, and some people I've seen get it as low as around 2700 if you're incredibly lucky, which is so cool to see compared to what it was before. So let's do the Shang-Chi into Elysium. That should give us the win here unless they do something pretty big. They do have Captain Marvel, so right now that would be 10. And so they're going to have 12 power if they don't drop anything here. So I think our Maximus and then Killmonger. Actually, let's do Hood as well. We can do Hood here. That's going to buff up Angela, and then we drop Killmonger. That's going to take this away, but Angela will still retain the bonus. And Bishop gets the 1 additional plus as well. So, yep, Hood then Killmonger. ABZ, I got there too. I think you got there just a little bit faster than I did. But yeah, nonetheless. Ooh.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Oof. So the Devil Dino in mid. And then Stars and Moons, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate it. Right now we don't have as many emotes for you or emojis. Right now, the only one that has been approved is the doggo, but we will get there. And then Jose, hello, Mr. TLSG. Hello, Mr. Jose. I hope you're having a great day so far. So far, we've had a really good stream. We've had some incredible win streaks, and so I think it's fair that we ended up losing that one. Who even drew this doggo, anyways? It depends. It depends who you ask, Q. I don't know. I don't know their name. It was someone that I reached out to. Wodar, opponent did a massive swing at the end there. Yeah. They did the Shang-Chi plus the Devil Dino that's hard to compete with, and it's hard to anticipate as well. So the Yondu gets our Hulkbuster. So if Shuri's lab comes up, we lose a little bit of potency. All of the cards are going to shift over one after turn 4. So without knowing what this one is, just in case it's something like Fisk Tower, I don't want to push anything into Hellfire Club for now. So I'm going to play into the Bifrost location, and then that way we know what we're getting into when the cards shift. And so we don't want to do our Maximus, but we still don't know what this location is. The issue that I see with this play is that it's going to group up our 2 Mysterio tokens. If we draw into Carnage, then that'll be fine. We'll be able to destroy it, and I think it'll actually work out better for us that way. But that depends on if we draw into Carnage. That's a one card draw out of our remaining 5. So Los Diablo Space may actually destroy. Oh, actually no, it's too late. Los Diablo Space isn't gonna trigger now. So we do have Shang-Chi now. We have Sarah for the next turn. So I think just in case we draw into Carnage, we're gonna stack the Bifrost for now, and then we're gonna need to find the win condition in one of these other 2 locations. So they drop a Killmonger. They're running a Destruction deck as well. I'm wondering if they have one that is running Wave. If so, destroying our own cards might hurt us more than it helps us. So we draw into our Killmonger. Let's drop Sarah into the Bifrost, and that'll allow us to have a little bit more flexibility on the final turn. We can either do a Captain Marvel and a Maximus. Now we can do any 2 cards that we need to, because with Wave, Sarah's going to allow us to do both. So that tells me they probably have a death. Unfortunately, we did not draw into, or unfortunately we took initiative from them there. And so with initiative, we're not going to be able to tempo drop our Shang-Chi. So we would have to rely on Maximus. I'm thinking we do Maximus to push us up to 13 power in this lane. We do Captain Marvel here. We do have the real Mysterio token that will reveal before Captain Marvel decides if she can move around. Yeah, right is a lost cause. Since these are the 2 tokens, we don't have Carnage to push any power up. I think it's a lost cause. I agree. I agree, AVZ, because we would have to invest one of our 2 card drops this turn there. I think we might be able to keep up power with them because they're going to be able to drop 2 cards. We're going to be able to do the same thing. Oh, okay. So maybe they didn't have a good secondary drop besides death. And with us dropping Sarah, they knew we were going to be able to drop 2 units onto the board, and they weren't confident in being able to find that win condition. We'll take the 1 cubes where we can. We'll absolutely take the 1 cubes where we can, and then we will jump into the next one. Stars and Moons. It does look like a Pyrenees, and so a lot of times you'll be able to see my dogs in the background. Right now they're on the couch sleeping, but a lot of times you'll be able to see them in the background behind me. And so I do have 3 Great Pyrenees puppies. I guess they're not puppies anymore. They're like 80-pound dogs. They're not puppies anymore. And then Friar's the Hobbit. Who's the target for Hulkbuster in this deck? So there's not a particular. So the Hulkbuster is just a tech for this location. So the way that Hulkbuster works with this location is that, let's say I have a Maximus in Yuri's lab. It goes to 14. I then merge Hulkbuster with that card. It goes from 14 to 18 and then doubles after that, so it becomes a 36 power. So it allows some really high power plays for a pretty cheap cost. And so if we need to, we can have Sarah on the board, we can drop Captain Marvel and Hulkbuster into Yuri's lab on the final turn, and then we have a mobile 32 power unit that can roam across the board. So outside of this location, I would take Hulkbuster out. Is it delaying? Is my voice delaying, Sonic Geo? But outside of this featured location, I take Hulkbuster out and I add Enchantress as a way to counter those. But I just liked the flavor of Hulkbuster for this one. You suspect that it's a really bad idea to play a Goblin to bar with no name? It can be. There's a couple of times where it's helpful. So if you, let's say you put a Wong there, and you do a Wong and a Green Goblin, you can make sure that you're negative. There's a couple ways to do it. Most of the time, it's not a good idea. But there's some times where it absolutely can be. So since our cards are not going to reveal in this turn, let's go ahead and drop our Bishop. Next turn, we can do maybe a Hulkbuster and a Nova. We have Sarah, so we're going to be able to drop Maximus on the final turn, along with hopefully a Captain Marvel. And Mysterio is actually really good here. So I'm wondering if we just play Mysterio instead of Hulkbuster. Mysterio is going to buff up our Bishop even further. No, we're gonna play it like this. If we need to drop Mysterio, we can do that on the final turn, along with Maximus, Mysterio, and maybe a couple of other low-cost cards because of Sarah. So I think we're gonna do this for now. Yeah, unless you have intentions of changing bar. Yeah, sometimes you can drop like a low-cost card, and then you can snipe bar with no name away by changing it with like a Storm or a Scarlet Witch towards the very last turn. So they destroyed their Deadpool once so far. They have Nova and Bucky Barnes over on the right-hand side. I don't know that we push to try and compete with them. Their Deadpool's not going to get that large. He's not going to be able to be played here, so it'd have to be like a Deadpool and a Taskmaster. And I think we can control that a little bit more. So we're going to drop Sarah into Crimson Cosmos. And then they snap. Not what I would have. I'm wondering what they have for that strong final turn play. And so we know Deadpool and then probably Carnage in the right lane. That's going to push him to 4. And so they drop a Demon. If we can make it where we don't have initiative going into that final turn, we can actually destroy their Deadpool plus their Demon with a Killmonger, if we draw into a Killmonger, of course. So we don't. So we don't have a way to trigger that one. We can do 5. That's going to be 6 more power here. So it'll push us to 12. I don't know that gives us a good win condition. So 7, that's going to be 8 power. This would be 9 and 10. So 10 power would push us up to just up to 16. We could do the hood over into the Angela lane as a way to push 2 more power. It's negative 2 power, but it offsets with Angela. And so that would give us the 1. So it'd push us to 17 in Lemuria for now. So if they do like a Deadpool and then something in Crimson Cosmos, maybe we could find the win condition, but I think we lose because of the Crimson Cosmos. I'm going to let this one play out. I think we lose in the middle location though. No, they have Deadpool. If we had Killmonger, that would have been a huge swing, but we don't. Or if we played the real Mysterio over there, actually, I think we would have been able to beat their power. No, we would have tied. That's okay. We had a really positive, really long streak, and so I think a couple of losses here and there are going to be okay. We'll be able to recover. We're still positive 17. We're just a little bit over an hour so far, and we're positive 17. Which some lunch live streams we end up pretty negative. And so we'll do a few more here. I appreciate everybody that found us from the YouTube channel or followed us from the YouTube live streams, or maybe they just discovered us here today. And this is your first time seeing us. So if it is, I appreciate you guys being here. And then Arc Burn, thank you so much for following. And then Drake, I hope you're less tired now. Yep, I'm less tired than at the end of our last stream, our last live stream. I went too long. I should have ended it before. But I'm less tired than that. But my daughter was up quite a bit last night. She's cutting some teeth, and she was running a little bit of a fever, and so she was up and down all night. And so I was up and down all night. So I'm still a little bit tired, but not anywhere near when we stayed up too late. And then Hillary, where can you track how much you've won or lost? Snap.fan has some decent integration depending on where you play. So if you're playing on your phone, they have an app that can track it. Or if you're weird like me, you can track it in an Excel spreadsheet. So if I'm really like testing out a deck and trying to figure out the best way to run a certain combo, then I have an Excel spreadsheet where I'm like not jotting down different information, like what the key card in the win was, like any tech cards that I had, any kind of locations that may have had a major impact. That way I can kind of look and assess from there. But most people I think just use snap.fan. So with Shuri's lab here, we have a pretty decent hand. We don't have Sarah, so we may end up doing Captain Marvel on 5. But our Demon's going to be able to get really large. Our Maximus is going to be able to get really large. We also have Killmonger that we'll be able to throw onto the board. I'm just trying to figure out the best order to do those in. Because I almost feel like we need to do our Nova and our Killmonger now. That way we're free to do Captain Marvel and we can just do a big turn 6 play. I think that's what we're going to go with. We're not going to try and be greedy and hold Nova for too long. And then Mobile Gamer, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you being here. So we're going to drop our Killmonger now. We're not going to hold it for too long. And then we'll Hulkbuster case the card it attaches to double, or will it cause it to? Yeah, Wodar. So Hulkbuster is really, really crazy with this location. So let's say we had just Captain Marvel. She doubles into 12. Our Hulkbuster now adds an extra 6 to that, so it's 18, and then it doubles again. And so it gets really crazy really fast with Hulkbuster. But I think we still go with our Captain Marvel here, and I think we're actually pretty confident. Let's go with our Captain Marvel. That's going to be at least a 12 power kind of roving unit. On the last turn, we can do both a Hulkbuster and a Maximus, or maybe we just do Hulkbuster here and then Maximus into Wakandan Embassy or Jotunheim to try and find that secondary win condition. And then Drak, you said, oh, Killmonger still eludes you? You'll get there. You'll get there, I'm sure. I'm sure before too long you will absolutely have it. And then I think that's part of the fun is just... I think part of the fun is like just finding the cards, figuring out how to build the best deck you can with what you have. It was incredibly exciting for me as we were kind of playing through and unlocking cards. So we can do a Shang-Chi and a Maximus on the final turn. So I almost think maybe we do our Killmonger now. That could put a pretty big target on Captain Marvel's head, though. We could do Killmonger, or we can do Hulkbuster now. We can also drop our Demon here, but that doubles his power. I think in terms of, we want to do Maximus here on the final turn, so I'm going to drop Demon into this lane. And then on the last turn, we can do a Shang-Chi here, and then a Maximus here. For the free-to-play Wong deck, do you think replacing Gamora with Black Panther is a good idea? It's less power, but safer. Yeah. Now that Black Panther is out, I think that'd be a good call. Good call. Yeah, if they drop Shang-Chi, that's definitely going to hurt. It's going to hurt our 28 power Killmonger, our 12 power Captain Marvel. And we can drop our Shang-Chi here if we think we need to, but I don't think we necessarily need to. I think they do have a Killmonger though. They're going to trigger the Nova bonus, and so I think our Demon goes away. So I think we need to be kind of cautious of that. So if they did drop Shang-Chi here, then this is a losing lane. We have to win this one by 12. Killing their rescue does that. We would have to win this one by 12 as well. I don't think we need... I don't think we need Maximus to be doubled in Shuri's lab. Hitting Marvel is a lot better than the rescue. That's true. Because she's able to rove, right? So then we can do Maximus here, and that might give us the win condition. And Captain Marvel can move over. I think you're right, Wodar. Since Captain Marvel is so flexible, I think it's better for us to hit this one. So let's go ahead and lock that one in. I see a lot of ways that we could lose. A Shang-Chi counterplay could do it. Yeah, we just lose to a Shang-Chi, so we might as well play as if they don't, and then hope for the best. You're right. So the Enchantress in mid is an interesting one, and then the Killmonger does take out our Demon. And so we have our Captain Marvel. We win Shuri's lab, hands down. And then Captain Marvel can move if she needs to, but she's not... Okay, so she's going to, because they had the 1 power Mysterio here, and, ooh, actually, could that have ever messed us up? So they had the 5 power real Mysterio. We had initiative, but at that point, does it go down to play order? Because their real Mysterio, our Captain Marvel didn't move until after that resolved. So I could see that one being a misplayed or miss, and so yeah, Mysterio was played first, but it goes down to play order at that point. If you used Shang-Chi, you would have laughed. Yeah, Shang-Chi would have hurt. Stacking that much power into Shuri's lab, that Shang-Chi would have been a painful one to see, but it's one of the risks that you take. Oh, end of game go in order. So it doesn't matter. So it's order of play for both players. I didn't realize that. I knew that it was in order of play, but I thought it was still divided by turns. Got it AFK for a few? No worries, Dad. I think we should still be here when you get back. Okay. And so we will start wrapping up here soon, though. I was checking to make sure that everything on the work front was fine. Good to know about the end of game effects. Yeah, that is a good one to know. Even me playing for months now, There's still kind of a little bit of confusion there, and so it's good to know exactly how they operate, because that could be a determining factor of winning or losing 4, 8 cube games, and it could save you some grief down the line. Hashtag or exclamation point lurk. Ooh, we have the ego, and so we have to go with the ego. We have to go with the. After seeing that Dark Dimension play, that's going to be tough to do. But we have to go with ego etiquette. Ego etiquette is that we double down on the snap, and then we let it play out. Would we for better or worse? And then Sima's, will you stream on YouTube again? I'm not for sure yet. Right now we're testing out. Q, you said, wait. Q, do you know something I don't know? So I don't know. Right now we're testing out the water. Oh my gosh. That Carnage is awful. That's the real Mysterio too. The real Mysterio. That's the hood. Sorry, Angela. Oh, why will you do this to us, Ego? But we have to believe in the Ego. He has a plan. Ego has... Okay, well... His plan is to give them more resources. Ego sees all and knows all. Oh man. Right now I'm testing the waters with Twitch, Simas. So I don't know for sure where we'll end up ultimately. The plan is to kind of see how it impacts our numbers on YouTube. They said they're losing, but they don't know the monstrosity of the Carnage cap here. And then Jose, do you play on the Steam client? I do. So I did switch over to the Steam client. Yeah, the plan is giving the opponent free cubes. That is absolutely what the plan looks like here, because we don't have the win condition in Hell's Kitchen. If they have a low enough, oh no, that's not going to do it. No, that doesn't do it either. Without the Carnage here, we had a shot. We definitely had a shot. The Carnage here is just so unfortunate. Oh man, that's painful. That's a painful one. So we're gonna go from a positive 18. We'll go down to 10. That is worth the ego etiquette. That is absolutely worth it. I feel like ego, I lose more than I win more for somehow. I know it should be pretty even, but I feel like I lose it more often than not. What's the chance of getting ego? It's very, very low. I think it's in the like super rare category. I don't know the percentage, but it's very, very low. Nate 6. Yeah, that's a rest in peace moment. You've only seen Ego twice? Yeah, I think I see him like maybe once every couple of weeks. And I play quite a bit, so he is very, very rare. And then Hoy, yeah, some people do retreat as soon as it's revealed. So other people just double down on the snap, and they kind of let RNG take the wheel. And sometimes it's fun to do it that way. I think we're gonna hold our. I think with Sinister London, Mysterio becomes less impactful because as of right now, Sinister London will be able to duplicate our cards across the board, and Mysterio just kind of clogs up the gears a bit. And then the last location is Shuri's lab, and so then we have to decide if we want to duplicate our cards or if we want to have them doubled in power. And I don't know. Because doubling a Captain Marvel, for example, is going to be better than that, but I think dropping a double Sarah is better than dropping her in Shuri's lab. So maybe we do Bishop. We're still looking for maybe a Killmonger. I don't know that we double Bishop though, because if we get Carnage, maybe we want to destroy it here. Let's just do Bishop. They will likely have a very large Black Panther. Oh, because the Okoye, the double Okoye. Drake, yeah, you're right. I like the one Marvel with high power a little bit better. I think it's going to be just a little bit more consistent for us. If we don't end up drawing into... So our demon tokens are... Our demons are the same regardless. And so if we drop Sarah, they're still going to be one cost. So I think we play them now and just assume we're not going to... And just assume that we're not going to draw into our Killmonger. Let's drop our Hulkbuster over into Shuri's lab. That might, well, no, we're going to hold it. We're going to hold it for the chance that it'll hit our Captain Marvel. I'm going to play it into Atlantis. We've made up our mind. Or if it was me, I would go for a big Infinite for the giggles. The big Infinite, the double Sinister London Infinite could be massive. And it'd be worth it for the giggles, I think. And then we draw immediately into Killmonger. So let's do the double Sarah. That's going to allow us to drop a lot of resources onto the board on the final turn. Oh, they do the same thing, and they have the same... They have the same variant and everything. The same variant, the same border. And they didn't have anything that copied it. You just fought against Soul Knife, and you got the new fight location. Yeah, Q, the new fight location is... It's very interesting. You read the story behind Infinite? Drake, I haven't caught up on the lore. Do you have a super brief version? Or is it something that's pretty intensive? So we have Shang-Chi. They have initiative, so we'll be able to do Captain Marvel. We can do Shang-Chi in Shuri's lab, which is going to be big. I think we do Hulkbuster first to potentially merge with our Captain Marvel. We can then do Shang-Chi, and then that does take out our potential. But we have the big Captain Marvel that can move across the board. I think that's what we're going to go with. If Hulkbuster merges with Captain Marvel, because they can't do a Shang-Chi, then we should be fine. We're going to double snap. We're going to believe in the Hulkbuster. Hulkbuster is going to have the 50-50 split, is going to hit Captain Marvel, and we're going to have a 32, 36 power Captain Marvel that's going to roam the board for us. And then if they push anything large into Shuri's lab, then we will absolutely... Ooh, the Mr. Sinister is an interesting one. So it only does the primary Mr. Sinister. They have double Mojo, and then they have Shang-Chi. Very interesting. And so Captain Marvel is going to get really, really large. We have Hulkbuster. We're going to be able to take out 14 power from... Ooh, actually, now that I think about it, doubling the Captain Marvel may not have been the best play. It may have been better to double Bishop, because now we need a way to have 14 power in the lab, and we can't. Yeah, we should have... We hit the 50-50 that we thought we wanted, but the 50-50 that we needed was the merge with Bishop to get the extra power to win this lane even after Shang-Chi went off. We just weren't able to hold it down. We started so positive today. Oh, a couple of bad 8-cube calls, and we were right back down there. We're gonna do a couple more. Before we head back over into work mode. But we've been as high as, I think, positive 22, and then now we're back down to just the one. Yeah, the plus one more is one of the emotes that I carried over. Up down to 2. Yeah, the plus one more is one of the emotes that I carried over. I think that one is a very solid one, and so I definitely wanted to have that one carried over with us. It just hasn't been approved yet. They have to manually verify that they're okay to post. Dropping a tier always feels bad, Torican. It does. Especially, we started the stream off. We were hitting 8 cubes. We lost 2 8 cubes back to back. We lost an ego double snap. He played really, really poorly, and then followed by another 8 cube loss, which just absolutely gutted us. TLSG's favorite Marvel character starts with letter G. Wait, Q. Oh, gotcha. That is true. In short, he is a strange space being that tried to land on Earth a few times, but was repelled because he would have destroyed Earth with his size. But then he learned to make himself smaller and finally landed. Interesting. I'll have to read kind of his backstory at some point. I have a few others that were recommended to me that I'm looking at first, but I think his would be one that would be pretty cool to see. So let's go ahead and drop our bishop. We could actually duplicate Nova a couple times if we find that we have a kill trigger for it. So if we get our Carnage or if we get a Killmonger, then I think we start doubling our Nova a few times. This game has some Marvel characters I'd never even heard of. Yeah, me too. And that kind of caused me to dive into their lore and start looking into things a little bit further. And so I like what that has kind of caused. Our cards are going to shift over into cloning vats with the Bifrost. So doubling down on Demon feels less impactful now. Or doubling down on Nova feels less impactful. So I think we're going to... Do we play Demon? Do we scare him with a Wong? I don't think we go with the Wong play line, but we could. Let's just go Demon, and then we'll do Nova into the far left. I don't think we play Mysterio because it will cap this location out, and I want to have a little bit of flexibility going into the last couple of turns. And then Delinquents. Do you have some favorite Marvel characters? I do. I have several that I didn't know about before, but with the game I've kind of looked into, and they're some of my more favorite ones now, and then some of the more traditional ones. So the one that at least I like as like a theme for like the channel is Gambit, and that's the one that starts with G. I think Gambit is... I started looking into his backstory and his lore, and I really, I like the kind of connection between, like, we're playing with cards, and then his power play is cards. But I didn't know much about him before Marvel Snap, and so then I kind of dove into it. There's a couple of other characters that I've done the same thing for. And so, like, Red Skull, I had watched Captain America, but I didn't know like what Red Skull was or what he did, and so out of everything, it definitely has kind of triggered a joy of lore for me, and kind of looking into some of those things. Q, TLSG needs to be a partner affiliate before we can make polls. Do we? Oh no, I did switch over to affiliate. I can make a poll. Since I'm not dual streaming, I did go ahead and accept the affiliate status. That's why I can get the gifted Prime memberships. So I do have the affiliate. We can make polls if we want to. Was there a question for a poll? Oh, Q, make a poll so we can bet on the next game. Q, as a mod, are you able to? Kind of nice to see Polaris has the same effect as their father, but weaker. Wait. Who's Polaris' father? Magneto? Okay, that makes sense. X-Men I have... I'm lacking on X-Men. My X-Men knowledge is very, very limited. And so that's one that I never caught whenever I was growing up. I do have a list of the X-Men movies that I want to watch. So this is going to be 8 power, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that pushes us to 19. They've already destroyed their Nova. And so 19 should be our win condition here. And then we just need to find the win condition in one of the other lanes. So we can do the 5 power with Captain Marvel so that she can kind of roam if she needs to. Or we can do... Or do we need to push Maximus there? This is going to be 3, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 power here. Six, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. That pushes 10 power in this lane anyways, even without us pushing our Maximus. This pushes a lot more power over into the Bifrost. We need Loki, and with Alligator Loki variant, yeah, I'm excited to see maybe how they implement Loki. I think his card effect is going to be really cool. I think that one I'm definitely looking forward to. Oh wait, the -2 from the Mysterio? Oh no, I didn't calculate the -2. I think we lose this one. I forgot about the double Scorpion. Oh, we sabotaged ourselves into a Mr. Negative streamer. Oh no. Let's do one more. I need to find at least one win. Oh man. You must be blind since you can't find the make pull option. So how do we? What kind of poll were you wanting, Dad? I'm recommending X-Men First Class, but it seems you need to read the comic, watch Marvel series and movies in short terms. You need to do a lot of things because of being a streamer. Yeah, and I've caught up on most of the recent Marvel shows and things. So I finished recently. I finished Thor: Love and Thunder. I thought it was okay. I didn't mind it too much. I think it did. I went into it expecting it to be bad because of all the negative press and opinion around it, and I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was mind blowing. I thought some of the kind of pieces in it were a little bit forced, but otherwise I thought it was fine. I finished Miss Marvel. That one was great. I finished What If. The ending of that one really solidified it for me. Gambling fake money is fun, yeah. We can gamble with the channel points. I haven't implemented too many or any of the kind of channel point redemption options, but I want to do some cool things there. Move deck, here's your favorite deck, and I really hope that decks gets buffed someday. Yeah, right now it's really dependent on drawing the resources you need early, and so I think I don't know, because whenever you do draw that, it's really, really strong. And then Drake, does movement deck pool 2 really need vision? I don't like vision in movement decks, really. I feel like it's just a kind of tacked on card because it says move. Because if you're moving with Heimdall anyways, you don't really need to be able to shift him around because it's only a 1 turn kind of change between when you drop him and then that final turn. And so I don't really find him that impactful. I'd rather have something a little more consistent or something that elevates a lot of power. So I like Iron Man in place of Vision for a lot of my movement decks. So Bar Sinister is going to be kind of crazy. Actually, we like the Hulkbuster play there, right? Because that's like a 16 power Hulkbuster just for free. Oh, is this against Zeddy? Kawa. This is against Zeddy. This is gonna be interesting. I think we start with a impressively powerful Hulkbuster. Oh, and he plays Patriot there. We did end up taking out the Enchantress from this location, but the good thing with this, he's capped into 4 power in Bar Sinister. That means a Shang-Chi play is really all that we need. He's gonna have some really strong units for sure, but if I guess we need to make sure we don't have initiative going into that final turn, right? Yeah, and then the early drop of Patriot into Bar Sinister is a little bit gambly to me, because that's just relying on us not doubling down or trying to win, or not having a counterplay to it. So I think this is going to sound weird, but I think we skip. I don't think we play anything else until the final turn. That way he can play all of his cards onto the board, and then we can destroy it. Because if we have initiative, he can drop a last turn Wasp, a last turn anything, and we won't be able to counter it from our positioning. I'm just going to skip. We're just going to skip. We're just going to keep skipping. We could do Mysterio. That doesn't mess with our... Mysterio doesn't mess with our ability to win. Ooh, and the rocks are actually only 8 power for him. Let's do Mysterio into this lane. Right now, we're going to need about 3 power. We're going to need more than 3 power to win cloning bats. Let's play Mysterio here. We can then do something like an Angela and a Shang-Chi on the final turn. Okay, and then there's the next Debris, which is absolutely fine. That means he can't do anything else in this location. We can do Angela and then Shang-Chi. That's going to give us another... That should give us enough power. Captain Marvel into Bar Sinister. I guess we could have. Done that. Yeah, the Shang-Chi is going to make him really sad. So let's do the Angela into Shang-Chi. I'm not going to snap. I think at this point, if we snap, it may scare him off. We're going to do the Shang-Chi into the Angela. That's going to take out this lane. Since he has initiative, even if this is like a Squirrel Girl or something that adds tokens after the fact, then we're going to be just fine. Oh no, the Blue Marvel may do it though. That brings those up to 4, so he's 8 total power. No, I think we have more than 8 total power, right? With the real Mysterio coming up, that should push us to like 11. We're still Mr. Negative Streamer, but we did gain just a little bit. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do let's do one more. Lost 2 power playing Mysterio first. BM. Oh yeah, I guess we could have done Angela and we wouldn't have had the win there. Yeah. Said he won't upload this video. Oh man, I like playing against other content creators and streamers. I lose several of them, but it's always fun to kind of see what they're running. But you're right, Kawa. We did lose 2 power potential, and it could have ended up costing us the game. Oh, and so for this next one, is that what the poll's for? Or was it for the last one? Oh, we could have cleared his whole last lane? We took the cubes. We took the cubes anyways. No, Captain Blue Marvel was only 6 though, right? It wouldn't have cleared Blue Marvel. Just give me a classic dad. So let's... I don't know that we're going to throw Nova into Hala. If we end up losing that location, then we'll have it trigger. The Daredevil is an interesting one. I wonder if they have maybe some Guardians of the Galaxy, some Stronghold reveals. They could also be running like a Professor X, so it could be a Destroyer deck. We're just going to throw our rocks onto the board. If we draw into many more rocks, we just don't... Shang-Chi is always so satisfying. Yeah, and before, it always felt kind of bad to have him in hand for games that you didn't end up using him. But in this case... In this case, and with this location, you use him more often than not, because this location really leans into making greedy plays and making big things happen. Thor, thank you so much for the follow. Making big things happen, and so you can use Shang-Chi quite a bit, and especially with Black Panther being the new card and people experimenting with that. You can do Shang-Chi more often than not has a target. We can do Mysterio, but that's going to clog up and cap out our subterranean lane. So I almost think we just drop our Hulkbuster. And then okay, Dad. Yeah, I saw the Ludwig ad. I saw it, and it's I don't remember the name. It's from like Offcast or off. Oh, with a strong Daredevil play, with us drawing into 3 of our 4 rocks, this feels like a tough win. We're going to see if we can salvage it. We're going to play our Captain Marvel. That gives us a little flexibility. If they drop something large here, so like a Gamora, we can take that out with the Shang-Chi. If it's a Professor X, then it's tough. Can Daredevil see the real Mysterio? Nope, it can't. So Kaiju. So if you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, it's kind of like the trick he did with the magical hats, where it hid the monster, which I don't think is actually how it functioned in the actual game, but in the anime series. And so it just shows those Mysterio tokens. It doesn't show which one the real Mysterio is. So it's a pretty cool interaction. Yeah, we don't have a very good shot here. We can do Mysterio here if they don't play anything into the Gamora lane. That's a big if. Then we can have our Captain Marvel move over here. This one's we shouldn't win this one. We're gonna give it a shot though. Yeah, even if Mysterio is played on turn 5, right? So it just shows the tokens, because that's all we see technically on our end. Okay, so they played Goose in the left lane. It was a weak final turn. That's how we're going to end it. That's how we're going to end things. I don't know how we found that win condition. They must have had a weak couple of draws. They probably drew into a few rocks themselves. But with 4 rock draws, we were able to find our win condition. We are going to have to go... we're Mr... Oh, wait. No, we're positive 2 cubes. With that win, we are going to have to jump back over into work mode. I have a few reports that I need to catch up on. We did get back into that Mr. Positive streamer. It was a whirlwind today, all the way from a positive 22 down to a negative, and then ending just barely positive. So on the way out, I can do a. I can't do a one more. We've been doing one more for a little bit too long now. On the way out, I can do a raid if you guys want to be transferred over. Let's see. I like doing some people that are a little bit smaller, but I know that have been pushing for a while. So are you guys familiar with I guess we have a couple of options. I see both Teddy Ninja and Valentine. Do you guys have a preference on which one we raid you guys over into? Yeah, we're gonna transfer you into another multiverse where it's gonna be a different streamer. And then Binker and Billy McGuire, thank you both for the follows as well. And so if the one with the less viewers, they're both about relatively the same. I know Teddy Ninja has been doing some pretty good numbers on YouTube, but I think Valentine, I think that one will probably be the one that we send you guys over today. And so let me go ahead and start up the raid. I appreciate you guys being here and jumping over into the stream. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support, all of the gifted subs, or all of the Prime memberships. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We are going to go ahead and start the stream and funnel you guys over. As always, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being here. As always, this has been TLSG. We will see you on the next one. Later, guys.